All right, I had to make sure I get it right there. So welcome back to the channel, everyone, and we back in the Batcave again for another live stream here. But we're not gonna do any gameplay today, but we are gonna do some discussions on some news topics here. I had to clear my throat there, so it feels good to be back on here, and man, there is a lot of news going around, and so I just thought maybe I get down in the back cave, do a little bit of investigation, and put my little some other skills to the test, and let's talk about these things. Let's have a conversation around some of these news topics here. So before we get to the elephant in the room, we're just gonna go over a few pieces here. And the first one that I want to talk about is a Plague Tale Requiem. And it seems like there's some performance issues going on with this game. Again, please excuse me. I am still a little bit under the weather here, so my voice may be a little off or whatever. So I am forcing it, right? I'm forcing it, but we got to make it happen. So now, this is one of those games I enjoyed, right? The first one. So I enjoyed the game. There are gamers out there, that did voice their position on the game. They didn't think it was all that great. Some people thought it was, just pretty good or mediocre. Some people just didn't like it, and that's okay. Everyone has their opinion on the game. But at the same time, to each their own. I enjoyed the game for what it was. I think I did a live stream of the game, and had some people watch me play it, and it was pretty good. They did a great job with the game. But before we get into the story, PE, welcome, man. It's good to see you here in the live stream, as always, and so let's get into the review. So I'm pretty sure there's some reviews out there. I haven't done any research to see if there were more reviews on the game, but I just came across this article here, so I just want to take a look at it and read it with you guys, and let's see what the problem is here. So it says A Plague Tale Requiem, I think I said that correctly, Requiem, is a game that does many things well, but doesn't commit to any of them nearly enough. Oh, wow. All right, so let's see what it has to say. So I'm going to switch screen. Let's see if I can make this bigger so that you all can see it a little bit better. And so it says the stealth action is engaging, but it's broken up with clumsy combat. The game is visually stunning, but it runs poorly. So if this is one of those games, right, with this whole 30 frames per second fiasco that's going around, then I'm pretty sure that's in code, what we are reading here. But let's keep at it. Let's see what else it says. And the story is compelling, but is broken up too often by needless, frustrating action. Excuse me, guys. And even then, the narrative outstays its welcome long before the credits roll. The game's early areas marry long sections of walking through stunning environments with such stealth gameplay. Correct myself there. Accented with slight survival horror flourishes. So it seems like the game, as far as the story, seems to be good. The visuals are good. We saw a few trailers that came out on the game, and it looks amazing. So, but what they're sharing here is that the actual performance of the game is lacking. So that could be an issue for some people who was expecting to play this game And even at this time, is it acceptable to have a game like this that's very highly anticipated, right? For a lot of us to have these performance issues. But you have to look at it this way as well. What game that that came out, if you know of any that came out that did not have performance issues day one. So I don't know the extent of the performance issues, but let's keep reading and see what this individual, Jordan Miller, has to say. There's a great tension built up when avoiding guards or using the array of weaponry at Amisha's disposal to serve those guards as an afternoon snack. But soon as the game asks you to take on enemies head on, the combat really shows its limits. So does it still have the same combat style, as the first game? I mean, has there been any additions, combat additions, changes, etc.? There's an early section when you're tasked with invading a large group of enemies, where in the game very heavily hints that you should just run forward. However, doing so will lock you in an endless loop of dying. I mean, do they catch up to you and just kill you, so there's no point in running, so you have to fight the enemy? That would be not good at all. The only solution we found was to break into some kind of earsat spinny heel sketch where 4 lumbering guards chased us around a rock until we finally disengaged their patrol cycle. We could then pick them off one by one using stealth. But it portrays a lack of polish in the gameplay that's at odds with how good the game looks. There's another section not long after that when guards swarm into a barn and Amisha has to warn them off. Despite most of the preceding game highlighting that as soon as you're spotted, it's very likely you'll be killed. These guards slowly climb down from the higher section of the barn for you to endlessly smash their skulls in with using your sling. In a conserved moment, you go from vulnerable character that's reliant on stealth to the Doomslayer, racking up a literal pile of body. Okay. So this is just one review. I don't know when this game comes out, but I'm looking forward to playing this game. I think it comes out on the 18th. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it tomorrow? I think it comes out tomorrow. If it does come out tomorrow, I would definitely be live streaming the game. And I'll probably do that after the Silent Hill comes out on Wednesday. That event is Wednesday, so there's not going to be any interruptions with that. So I will be live streaming a Playtale Requiem. All right, to continue, it says combat does evolve as the game progresses, including some strange sequences where it becomes the world's slowest third-person shooter. Here we go. And these feel misguided. Now, everyone's going to have their opinion on, a game, when it comes out, performance, the way it looks. And that's okay. You do you, and, other people will do them. It's just a matter of, putting out your own opinions on the game, after you play it. And, not to take in consideration, others' opinions as well. But I think it's, you won't leave room for bias, if you would purchase the game yourself and then play it yourself and see what you think, And, if it becomes, a lot of people are complaining about, the way the game looks or performs, and, we have a argument. We have a conversation. So he says never use to working remotely. It's there for purchase. I think I saw people downloading it. Maybe it's early access. So well then, if it's available to download, I am definitely going to oblige here. So I'm gonna make sure that I get it, ready to go for tomorrow. Just gotta fix some things here. Dude, I have no clue what's going on with this. All right, we'll just leave it like it is for right now. Let's fix it. All right, so is there any more to this game? There's a whole lot more. Okay, the runtime on our adventure was greatly lengthened by the amount of time we spent in photo mode or just looking out over the horizon. The screenshot button was substantially worn down. So it seems like they took a lot of photos during the game. However, with the visuals are show-stopping among the best of the year, the game's technical performance really lets it down. So are they sacrificing visuals for performance? Because the last time I heard this game was running at 30 frames per second. So, which in a game about millions of rats. So yes, so when we play this game, I've heard over and over there's millions of rats in this game. So let's get it. So that's it on A Plague Tale. Apparently it has been played. There seems to be some performance issues with the game. I will be purchasing the game tonight. I will be downloading the game tonight if it's available to download, or we can pre-download, and then I will be streaming the game live tomorrow on the Gaming and Reactions Gamecast. All right, so let's move on to the next topic. The next topic is here. I have to speak on anything Resident Evil, right? I'm a huge RE fan. So any news that comes out about RE, I'm on it. Anything else is uncivilized. Nah, I'm just kidding. So let's see what the deal here with Resident Evil Village. Latest Steam update is causing the game to crash. Now, I don't play games on Steam or PC, and I know others do. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be an issue that's going to get fixed. So it says publisher Capcom acknowledged on Monday that a new patch is causing the title to crash for some players. We are aware of an ongoing issue with the latest patch that's causing the game to crash for some users. Now, this is coming from Capcom, so I'm pretty sure a lot of gamers, Steam gamers, have voiced their frustrations, and Capcom has responded. We're currently looking into a fix and apologize for any inconvenience. Yeah, man, come on now, especially when it comes to Resident Evil, man. Come on, you can't have any issues like this, man. Hook it up. But I'm pretty sure Capcom's gonna come through. They're gonna come through, fix the issue. So hang tight. So let's see. Capcom is scheduled to hold a Resident Evil showcase this month. Yes, although it has yet to confirm a date. I am excited for the showcase. I know everybody else is. I don't think I know anybody that's not excited for the showcase. And looking forward to Resident Evil 4. Any updates on Resident Evil Village, Gold Edition, and also a possible other announcements, maybe. And Capcom, sometimes they like to keep tight-lipped on some things, and I'm excited to see what they have to show. So it's saying that Resident Evil Village Gold Edition is set to release on October 28th. So that means the showcase is going to be, it could be on that day. It could be on October 28th. You know, it could be the exact same day. And October 28th is on a Friday. So why not? Why not just do the showcase on the same day? You know? But if they don't do it this week, then it has to be next week. And I would do it on the 28th, you know, because that way you could say, hey, you know, Resident Evil Village Gold Edition is available now for purchase or upgrade or whatever the case may be. So, Steam players, I'm pretty sure Capcom is going to fix the issue. They have apologized for it. So, you'll definitely get that fix. So, let's scroll on down to... actually, I'm going to go over to PSU here. And we have a couple of stories here. Now, this one here. Now, to each their own, okay? To each their own. It's kind of interesting that, you know, this has been put out in the wild at this given time, right? Now, you can look at this and say, oh, geez, what just happened? What just happened? Hold on. Let me get back. There we go. I don't know. I don't know about this, right? But you can look at it in different lights and say, hey, or you could just ask questions and say, why would Sony put this out now, right? Even though with the whole Activision Blizzard thing going on, I mean, they could have just at least let us know and say, hey, you know, showcase. We did plan to showcase, but it was delayed due to this whole Activision Blizzard deal. So gamers know, right? You got to be vocal. You got to communicate with your fans, man, your audience, and let them know what's going on. We know more about this Activision Blizzard deal than what's actually going on behind the scenes at Sony. And I'm pretty sure a lot of gamers, a lot of loyal Sony fans do want to get back to that, right? What's going on with Sony? Come on, PlayStation. What's happening? What's up with the PlayStation VR 2? What new games, you know, are planned to be announced, you know, for the following year? Are we going to get anything on God of War Ragnarok? It doesn't seem like we're going to get anything because according to this article here, Millie Amand, I guess she's a respected insider. I think she posted out on Twitter, you know, Sony postponed a planned PlayStation showcase due to the ongoing CMA investigation into Microsoft's planned acquisition, Activision Blizzard. Now, I am starting to get a little exhausted. Now, I know I got my, you know, State of Gaming series kicked up off the ground, and we're looking forward to doing another podcast here soon. But this is getting really exhausting, right? So it's either, you know, they're going to make the deal so that I can make sure that I move my stock, or change my stock, right? Because I do have stock in Microsoft. And because I have a feeling if this does not go through, Microsoft stock's going to plummet. It's good. I know investors are on the edge of their seat with this deal. And they're probably like, dude, you know, we need to hurry this thing along, right? Either you're going to make the deal or you're not going to make the deal. So if they don't make the deal, I'm out, right? Because I have a feeling it's going to drop just like Sony stock dropped. But there are investors out there watching that Sony stock because with the Sony stock being where it is, you know, you have to make sure that you keep an eye on that, because I know a lot of investors are going to want to buy up a lot of Sony stock, because, Sony is playing their hands right now. So if they continue to be vocal in such a way, that kind of, brings it, the anxiety down a little bit, and say, hey, and I think they should have announced this a lot earlier, so the anxiety levels wouldn't been so way up here and past any thresholds, and be like, okay, man, I'm losing a lot of money. So what's going on, Sony? So make the deal or don't make the deal, right? Let's make a deal. Let's make a deal. That's the new show right now with Sony and Microsoft. Let's make a deal. Okay? We need to somehow keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. I would just take the current deal or negotiate. You're like, you know what, Microsoft, you can have Activision and Blizzard, okay? Take it, great, fine, but let's renegotiate this 3-year deal or whatever the case may be, because we need to move on, right? It is really getting exhausted, and and I hate to say it, it is what it is at this point. Let's just move on. It says the format holder had reportedly planned to host the showcase on October 20th. Oh, October 20th. That's the homeboy's birthday. Yeah. Birthday is this Thursday. So they was going to host it on the B-Day. Okay. And would have included a number of major reveals. Oh. Including the new game from... Oh! So they was so was gonna be Death Stranding 2? Oh, that's crazy. All right, let me read this again. The format holder had reportedly planned to host a showcase on October 20th and would have included a number of major reveals, including the new game from Hideo Kojima, as well as a Silent Hill announcement. So the Silent Hill announcement, which came out, I think yesterday or day before yesterday, whenever. So we have that event on Wednesday, I think. Yeah, I think it's slated for Wednesday. So I will be live streaming that. Sony supposedly delayed the event as it was felt it would add weight to Microsoft's comments in its CMA. Oh, wait a minute. So do you think Sony was going to announce any acquisitions? Whoa, wait a minute. I mean, that would make sense, right? So it could be a possibility that Sony would have made a major announcement of an acquisition, but now since they're in the mix with this Activision Blizzard deal, that would have tipped the scales and this fight, right? Because they're both in the box arena about this deal. So maybe Sony had an acquisition announcement, so they was like, we can't do this. We can't do this. We was gonna let them know we was gonna acquire WB and Capcom and Square Enix, all three. I'm just making an assumption, right? I'm just assuming that Sony may have had an announcement to make in regard to an acquisition. That's just my assumption. Because it clearly states here, a number of major reveals. So we already know about the PlayStation VR 2. That's not a major reveal. Okay? So what else could it be? Right? It could be a major reveal around some other games you know, that, you know, they have been doing a lot of remakes, you know, but major reveals. But then it goes on to say, including the new game from Hideo Kojima, okay, and the Silent Hill. So those two are now known. So what are these major reveals that they're talking about? Come on now, Sony. Come on, Sony. You ain't fooling nobody. Okay. Now I may be wrong, but I'm just thinking that maybe they had an announcement for acquisition, and with them being in the boxing ring with Microsoft right now over the Activision Blizzard deal, it will be who of them not to make that announcement, right? Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it because yes, that would have set everything ablaze right there. Because Microsoft would have came back and said, "Whoa, whoa, 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 wait a minute. So you going at me about this Activision Blizzard deal, but here you are trying to acquire Square Enix, Capcom, WB. Who else is out there? You trying to acquire all these studios, but you coming at me about Activision? Get out of here." So it's gonna be interesting to know what those major reveals are. All right, so we're gonna move on. It says, in case you haven't been following our coverage, the Competition and Markets Authority, the CMA, is currently investigating Microsoft for the plan. Yes. So we know the whole ordeal around that. And again, like I said earlier, can we move on from this? Because if you're telling us that the Xbox Series S is holding back games, Microsoft and Sony are holding back games and announcements and stuff that we need to know, and we're fed up with it. I know I'm fed up with it. I'm like, come on, you're holding up stuff. Stop playing around, okay? We need to know what's next. I need to know what the cost of the PlayStation VR 2, because I plan on getting one, and I have a giveaway to take care of as well with that. I want to know if there's any new games coming out. I want to know what Hideo Kojima is working on. I'm pretty sure everybody's excited. Well, a lot of gamers are excited about that. I can't speak for everyone. And again, I want to know what these major reveals are. So what did you guys think about the PlayStation Showcase being delayed and them announcing it now? I mean, they're announcing this now. I think this is something that should have been announced a lot earlier, so it could, quiet the anxiety a little bit. And because a lot of questions that came about, with God of War Ragnarok, et cetera, et cetera. So let's see what else we have here. So let's talk about this one here real quick. We're not going to spend too much time on this one. And when I caught wind of this one yesterday, I was like, hey, I have to speak on this. And it's just blew my mind to think you have a Resident Evil showcase and a Silent Hill transmission in the same month. That's insane. Now, we have we're already prone to all the rumors that's happened over the last year or so. We already know about the rating in Korea. And so what is this about, right? So I guess we have to wait until Wednesday to find out what Konami has up their sleeves with Silent Hill. I am hoping for a remake. And the remake that I'm looking forward to is Silent Hill 2. I mean, I could do a Silent Hill remake. That's totally fine if they want to start there. But Silent Hill 2 was my favorite of the series. And if they would have come out and say Silent Hill 2 remake, oh my goodness. It's game on, player. It's game on. So I don't know what the names of these games are going to be, or if they have multiple Silent Hill games in development. Again, I'm looking forward to the announcement. I will be live streaming it. I'm there, right? I'm there day one, like in Game Pass. I have to know what's going on with Silent Hill, just like a lot of you guys. It says Konami announcement of a Silent Hill event for this week has set a lot of tongues wagging. Yes, yes. But it's generated even more excitement due to the fact two previous members of Team Silent, that's the development outfit responsible for the first 4 core entries, had shared the news online. That's good for the first 4 entries. So that's interesting. So it says both Akira Yamaoka and Masa. Okay, yeah, I think I talked about this in yesterday's quick stream. And again, man, I look forward to seeing what Konami has. Now, see, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. You see this? Oh my, look at that. That's what I'm talking about. If they come out and announce a Silent Hill 2 remake, dude, this is going to be insane. Now, this is not confirmed. I'm not saying this is confirmed. I'm just saying, I just saw Silent Hill 2 remake there. And if they do it, this is going to, oh my God. I would just say Capcom, stand by. Capcom, stand by. Capcom, if you're watching this, stand by. Because this is going to be insane. Because I think they could pull it off. If they pull off a Silent Hill 2 remake, whoo, it's going to be crazy. What did it say? It says, next we're supposed to also getting the Silent Hill 2 remake from Bloober Team, although the company hasn't. What did I do? Did I click into it? Let me go back and scroll down. Man, I'm messing it all up. I'm messing the vibe up. Although the company hasn't said anything official at this point. Finally, there's also supposedly an episodic Silent Hill game in the works, which may or may not be related to Silent Hill, the short message. Okay. Now, maybe this is just a new game in the series. Silent Hill, the short message. Okay, got you. But you got the episodics, the episodes or whatever, however they do that, right? Silent Hill, the short message. All I'm looking for is either 1 or 2, preferably 2, Silent Hill remake. And then we'll deal with the rest later. So what do you guys think, man? What do you guys think about this? I am excited. I am going to keep my expectations here, right? And but I'm excited for this one. This is going to be interesting. And you got to show up. Konami, you got to show up. If you don't show up, I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to be upset. Now, again, Silent Hill PT playable trailer demo has been hacked to play on a non-jailbroken PS5. So the question is how did you do it? How did you do it? So well-known modder Lance McDonald has announced that he's got PT, the playable teaser of 2014's Cancel Silent Hills, up and running on an unmodeled PS5. Dude, how did you do it? Ha 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 ha. I got PT working on a fully updated, non-jailbroken PS5. Eat, boop. Konami. Let's do this again. Let's do this again. Ha 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 ha. Okay, I messed up now. I got PT working on a fully updated, non-jailbroken PlayStation 5. Eat boop. Konami. Oh my. It's a good thing he didn't put at Konami. Oh my goodness. This console has never been jailbroken. I was able to transfer a hacked PS4 emulator from a different jailbroken PS5 using USB backup to unlock the game on my main PS5. Okay, so that's how he did it. That is how he did it. And you know, you ever heard of that saying that life finds a way? Life always finds a way, right? Someone like this will always find a way. And that's exactly what happened. So that is awesome, man, because I still have PT. And, you know, sometimes I do want to play it, but I can't play it. They lock me out with it. So that sucks. That sucks, man. And it says PT was originally playable on the PS5 at launch. Was it? I don't remember PT being playable on the PS5 at launch. Before it was made incompatible with Sony's latest system. Konami later said that the horror teaser would never be made backwards compatible for PS5 users. Although that's no longer the case thanks to this workaround. All right, so Konami, there it is. If you didn't get the news, and if you're watching Konami, you got the news. You probably already got it already. So I know there's other people out there that's probably going to do the same thing. I just contradicted myself there. However, we don't recommend trying it. In order to get PT running on your PS5, you'll need an extra modified console and a jailbroken PS5. So if anybody out there, you're listening, I'm pretty sure there is a geek out there that can do this, right? If you found out an easy way to do it, nah, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm not gonna be a part of that shenanigan. Nope. But I did enjoy PT when it came out. It was a great trailer. And I was definitely looking forward to Norman Reedus to be in Silent Hills, if that was the case. But, you know, just things happen. And it sucks, right? But it's okay. It's okay. We have a Silent Hill event coming Wednesday. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, man. So that is all I see as far as any news. There's a whole bunch of news here, but I don't think it's, anything that's worth talking about unless you like to play these types of games. No Man's Sky, Minecraft, Legend of Heroes, etc. But let's go to the chat. Let's see what we got here. So PE 420, thank you. Welcome to the stream, man. And if you're out there and you're watching the stream, thank you. I really appreciate the love. Please, if you hadn't shared the live stream, just please share it. We need to get that 999,000 subscribers. If we get to 1 million subscribers, if we ever get to 1 million subscribers, I am going to invite you all. I am going to invite all 1 million subscribers to win a house and a car. But all I need is 999,000 subscribers. Let's get it. I mean, a house and a car. Hey, maybe I'll just be like Mr. Beast and stack up $1 million, invite you guys to, an area, and we just go live and be like, hey, keep your hands on the $1 million for 24 hours. It's yours, but you gotta pay those taxes though. You gotta pay those taxes. But yeah, I would love to do stuff like that, man. But again, I need 999,000 subscribers. So I need your help. I need your help to make it happen. 420 says Microsoft had an entire decade to bring it and make their own in-house stuff to compete. But when Microsoft can't do or compete, they buy out. They bought an entire publisher just to do what they couldn't. And that's true. That's true. When you think, I mean, I look at it this way, right? Sony has been in the business here. Let me change screen here. Let me change screens. All right. Sony has been in the business for a long time, right? They've been in the gaming business for a long time, and they pretty much have a huge leg up. So along comes Microsoft, right? We want a piece of the pie. So we want to move up like the George Jeffersons. We want a piece of the pie. So, and they come in and they stake their claim. Now, with that being said, being the trillion-dollar company that they are, you know, with their core competencies, et cetera, they have the money to make it happen. I don't know if they have the right people at the round table to make it happen. Because if it's taking you this long to compete with the catalog of exclusive games with what Sony has, something is wrong here, right? So how far do you have to dig deep into your pockets to make it happen? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I don't think Microsoft has that many exclusives. I can count some on my hand. You know, you have Forza, you have Gears, you have your staple Halo. What else? What else am I missing? I'm pretty sure I'm missing some others, but they don't have a long list of. They don't have a long list of exclusives. So what do you do? Right? What do you do to compete? And sometimes you just have to make those tough decisions as a business and be like, okay, then we're gonna buy out. Let's. Who do they buy first? Bethesda, ZeniMax, and some others. So it's like, oh my goodness. So Microsoft is not playing right now, right? So how does Sony respond to that? And Sony responded, not in such a way with the Activision Blizzard deal. But they responded and say, okay, we purchased Bungie, and then we got some other studios like Haven and whatever, right? But then with this Activision Blizzard deal, oh my goodness, it's just, they both got into the boxing ring. It's like Mayweather versus, give me a good fighter. Mayweather versus, what was a good fight against Mayweather? Maybe I'm choosing, let's just say a possible... This is Mayweather versus Pacquiao 2. How about that? Mayweather versus Pacquiao 2 right now. And they're both in the boxing ring right now over one game. I'm like, Sony, you're fighting Pacquiao for one game? For one game? Okay. Again, I'm going to share this again. In that lineup of games, of Activision and Blizzard's, the game that probably brings in the most money is Candy Crush. So Microsoft can sew up the mobile market with Candy Crush. I still play Candy Crush. I know people that still play Candy Crush. I still purchase, power-ups and stuff in Candy Crush from time to time. I do. It's the game is awesome. I see people at their desk playing Candy Crush. What are you playing, man? Candy Crush. Okay, cool. What else? You got Diablo. You have, some other games, good games there too that, gamers do play, right? But Call of Duty? Is Call of Duty that big? Okay, yes, Sony came out and they said, hey, Call of Duty is their biggest revenue stream. And I'm going to say it again. That had to be strategy. It had to be strategy because you don't. Why would you downgrade your own exclusives? So you telling me that your exclusives is not making the money that Call of Duty, because Call of Duty is a third party. So you mean to tell me your first party exclusives is not getting the job done, but Call of Duty is? That, to me, that makes no sense. So it had to be strategy to go into this bout with Microsoft, and I don't know if they're lying. I see the memes out on Twitter. I see the posts out on Twitter. Lion Ryan and and all that crazy stuff. But it had to be strategic. Hey, this is what's going on. We can't do it like this, because if you're only crying over Call of Duty, why not the other games in that, and Activision and Blizzard does? That makes no sense to me. So 420, I definitely agree. Based on Microsoft's move, because of the extensive first party games that Sony has, so they have to compete in that realm. I mean, you got to understand something. And if there's any Xbox fans in the chat or watching, there's got to come a time when you say, okay, I'm tired of playing Forza. I'm tired of playing Gears. I'm tired of playing Halo. Now, even though you enjoy playing those games, but there's going to be a moment in time like, man, well, every year we get a Forza, Gears, Halo. Okay, I may be missing some exclusives. That's okay, But there's got to be, because Sony has come out with new exclusives for the PS5. And even though they were not top tier exclusive, well, in my opinion, I can only speak for myself, not top tier exclusive, maybe a couple to me. But at the same time, what are you doing? Now, I know Xbox is coming out with some games next year, so we have to sit back with our popcorn, grape soda, tequila, whatever you drink, and then just watch, right? And I said this before a long time ago when Xbox, announced their showcases, etc. I was like, they got to show up. They have to show up, because Sony is already stating the claim, right? For this generation, we got this generation locked, right? We have the software, and we're selling consoles, right? So Microsoft, you have to compete, man. You have to compete. I have nothing but mad love for Microsoft, but you got to compete. You got to compete. And then you're not. Now, when people say Microsoft, Xbox has no games, that statement makes no sense to me. You have to be very specific, right? You have to be specific and say Microsoft has no enough first party games to compete right now. Microsoft has plenty of games. There's plenty of games on Game Pass and in the store, et cetera, et cetera. It depends on what you like and what you like to play. There's games there, right? But they just don't have the first party games that the gamers are looking for. They're not there yet. So next year, I'm going to say this right now. You guys hear me loud and clear. Microsoft have to show up next year. Period. They have to show up. You got your Starfield. If it gets delayed again, you got your Redfall. If it gets delayed again, you already got the scrutiny behind Halo. I don't know what you did with Halo. That's your main top game. That's your mascot, right? I have no clue what you did with Halo. Y'all have to redeem yourself from Halo. It's just not working. Now, don't get me wrong. Game Pass has value. We all have said that. We all know Game Pass has value. And Game Pass, in my opinion, would be profitable, if not profitable already, and will be able to sustain itself. These businesses know exactly what they're doing. right? They know exactly what they're doing, and they're gonna make it happen. And I mean, we can sit and have the conversation all day long about what Sony is doing and what Microsoft is doing, but at the end of the day, these companies are going to do what they need to do to remain competitive. I'm sorry, I kept going on and on. So let's get back to the chat. It said that's why people are tripping. That's why they are being investigated or looked into more. Because instead of competing, they are buying out entire third-party companies and publishers. Hey, you have the money. If you have the money, right? But also at the same time, you know, how this whole thing works, you know, with the CMA, the regulators. I mean, your competition is going to come back and say, hey, you know, I think they are playing unfair. But now you have to justify that unfairness, right? How's that going to impact the market, the gaming market? How's that going to impact the gamers, you know, developers, et cetera, et cetera? You know, there's so many aspects that play in this whole ordeal. I mean, if you have done some homework, you know, your research, and find out what they do, because the talk was about monopolizing the gaming industry, you know, when they did the whole Bethesda deal. So it was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? So I'm like, hey, it's just normal. Acquisitions happen all the time, right? They happen all the time. So let's see what Sony does. So Sony responded. So I guess it wasn't a big deal at the time. So now with Activision and Blizzard, it's a big deal now. And again, over one game. So here we go. Mayweather, Pacquiao. They're in the boxing ring, right? Sony, Microsoft. Who's on whose side? So it's the CMA on Sony's side, you know, in Sony's corner. You know, is the regulators in Microsoft corner? We just don't know. I mean, everybody's coming out voicing their opinions on the matter. And I think they are, they're not being neutral and not following the rule book. Again, it's not about, you know, Sony this and Sony that. So you shouldn't be talking about Sony this and Sony that. No, you should be going by the rule book to make sure that this deal is legit. That's it. You should be neutral and do your job and say, hey, everything looks good. Microsoft, Sony, I don't see anything that, you know, wrong with Microsoft doing this deal, et cetera, et cetera. That's what the focus should be on. This is going on way too long. Okay, it just needs to start to wind down and say, you know, here's the deal, right? So when Sony throw up the white flag and say, you know what, forget it, we got to move on. We got to give our gamers what they've been asking for. We've been asking for a showcase. We've been asking for the PSVR 2. You know, price, if there's any new games, Hideo Kojima, what his new game is about, Silent Hill, what other major reveals that you were going to announce during that showcase. And I'm pretty sure it was going to be some acquisition. Come on. I mean, why would you delay a showcase if an acquisition was not a part of that reveal? Now, I'm just making an assumption. But I believe Sony was going to announce, hey, we're going to acquire Square Enix, again, Capcom, WB, who else? We was going to acquire like 5 studios and be broke. And be broke the entire time because we know they're going to make killer games and we're going to recoup all that money back. Watch. I wouldn't be surprised. All right. Patrick Enigma says the head never saw it. Needs to support Xbox with bigger budgets to buy studios. that huge as Take Two. By then, he also says, I think we seem to forget Microsoft buys and others have been doing it unless we don't. I think he meant don't know much about it. Now, again, this is nothing new. You know, businesses do acquisitions all the time. Okay, you don't need a business degree to understand that they do it all the time. Uh, Most other companies don't buy out third parties or entire. That's right. You're right. People making games all the time. Um, I'm pretty sure Capcom is not going to be for sale ever. Square Enix is not going to be for sale. Um, oh yeah, and that rumor with CD Project Red, come on, that's ridiculous. Why would they do that? I mean, wouldn't make any sense. But shout out to Game On Daily. They did tag me into that, and I was reading that. I was like, "There's no. It wouldn't make if that was their announcement of acquiring CD Project Red. I mean, what would that benefit them? I mean, it wouldn't make any sense. No, you're gonna have to get somebody big, man. And okay, what else we have here? Um, PE says multiple Silent Hill is in development too. I don't know if Konami own would be better. I am looking forward to this Wednesday. So this Wednesday, I will be live streaming it. Um, I again, I'm keeping my expectations here, and I'm looking forward to being disappointed. I'm looking forward to being disappointed. Prove me wrong, Konami. Just prove me wrong. So, yeah, a VR one and a multiple remakes. Oh my goodness! So, what's the deal with this? So they're calling the PlayStation 5 the remake station 5. Now, I don't care about remakes. Okay, let me rephrase that. When it comes to remakes, I'm all for remakes because there are some games out there that I would love to see have a remake, right? And for example, I talked about the Splinter Cell remake. As long as they don't steer too far away from the actual story, uh, Splinter Cell, I'm I'm all for the remake. Okay, and as long as there are actual remakes, and I hate to jump on, I'm gonna give you my two bits real quick with the Last of Us remake. I have not played the game. I have not played the game. I probably purchased the game when when the price is at $15 or something like that. And the reason why I say that because again, I played the original, I played the remaster version. I've beaten both of them. I played The Last of Us 2. I enjoyed all, three of those games. I didn't think, this is just my opinion, okay? I value everybody else's opinion. I just didn't think it would it was necessary to come out with a remake of The Last of Us at this time. Based on what I saw, I would not consider this a remake. That's just me. It looks like the same game, just with better graphics. That's it. That's it. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't want to get too much into it. So 420 says most other companies don't buy out. Okay, I think we covered that one. Yeah, VR1. Yeah, that's the point. Because they could afford it. If you think Sony had that kind of money, they wouldn't have done it. I don't think playing a demo, even PT, is worth hacking my. I know, I know it. You know what? Dude. I am not gonna do that, man. I am not gonna do that at all. But there are, some people out there that's, that likes doing that stuff, man. Go out and hack it, and voila. And then, not knowing that they got caught, you're trying to hack it, and then all of a sudden your account gets shut down. You're like, wait a minute, what happened? So you lose everything. You're like, nah, we're good. PE says, I think Sony chose that route not because they build organically, as some people want us to believe in. They did that because of their experience back in 1997, which they had losses. Now, PE, we did discuss that, and I think you do have a good point around that. And I think we need to discuss that a little bit further in the next podcast. So we can kind of dig into the weeds on that one, so that we have some, validation on that, just to say, hey, this is what happened during that era that validates, how Sony moved and was to be able to be successful in the gaming market at the time. I think that would be a more interesting conversation around that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do my homework, and we'll talk about that more. Even if Microsoft had all the money in the world, they shouldn't be able to buy market share. They should earn it. 420 is going at it, dude. Oh, why they are always getting investigated from an yeah. It's and you know what? And I jumped on the bandwagon too. I jumped on the bandwagon, when it first started, and and I was thinking about these other big game companies like Tencent, or I think that's what they're called. I think that's their name. I don't follow them too much, and I was like, man. Is Sony following suit? I'm like, Sony just buying up big companies, and what? Are they trying to? Because think about this. Game Pass. Just imagine if Game Pass was on PlayStation. Just imagine if Game Pass was on Nintendo. I don't know if it's on Steam or not, but it's on PC. You can get yourself a Samsung TV, right? An updated Samsung TV. You can download the app and you can play games. You can play it on your your tablets, your phone. I'm thinking like, holy cow, this is genius. This is ingenious, dude, what they're doing. Now, again, I do believe, and I asked this question, right? Would Game Pass be able to sustain itself? This was in the very beginning, before the day and date was announced, okay? Because I looked at it like another subscription service, right? How are you going to be able to sustain Game Pass, right? Then when they announced day and date, I was like, oh. I was like, Sony, you in trouble now. What you gonna do? And we did talk about that in our latest podcast, State of Gaming podcast. So that podcast is on the channel. So if you guys want to check that out, please check that out. That was the first episode in the State of Gaming series, and we are looking forward to doing another podcast. Now, if you're in the chat and if you're watching, we are going to allow you to be a part of the discussion. So when we do go live on the podcast and you do want to be a part of the discussion, the link will be in the chat So you just send us a request. Hey, I would like to, give my 2 cents on the matter, and then we'll invite you in. You don't have to show your face or anything like that. We'll invite you in, and we'll allow you to give your thoughts and opinions on it. So that is part of the vision of this podcast, is to allow the gamers to come in and voice their opinions on the matter. Okay. And also we're still trying to work and getting some some developers in, some are some people into the chat as well. So your boy small time, right? I'm not that big. We got to start somewhere, right? And build ourselves up and go from there. All right, back to the chat, man. We're not done. Let's go. Levy Parkinson says, good content. Shout out, Levy. Thank you, man. I really appreciate the love. Again, if you're watching and you like what we're doing here, hey, man, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell and all, so that you don't miss out what we got going on here, and when we go live. Now, I know YouTube, have this, something's going on with their notification system. I did reach out to YouTube on Twitter in regarding the matter. They did respond to me. They did say, work these, these options out and see if it works. So I think I did post out on Twitter, and I'm not sure if some of you guys caught wind of it. Try some of the options that they provided and see if it works. If it doesn't work, just get back at me. I'll get back with Team YouTube and say, hey, we're still having some issues here with the notification system. Also, again, we are doing giveaways. We have some more ideas of giveaways. Okay. So if you do watch, Marlon Gaming Nation, I did team up with him. Once he hits 50K, 50,000 subscribers, we are going to give away a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X. So make sure you don't miss out on that giveaway. We're also doing a giveaway for the, I think it's the BFG Pro controller for the PS4, PS5, and PC. Also, we're doing another giveaway once we hit 1,000 followers and 1,000 subscribers. That's the Woodger Series 3. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that. I'll put that in the description after we're done with the stream, so you guys can click on it or whatever and check that out. So pretty much what it is a actually, you know what? Let me just show you what we're talking about here, and then we'll get back to the chat. I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me, man. I really do. Thank you so much for the love. And let's see if they bring it up. All right, so what you see on the screen here, is what we're going to be giving away once we hit 1,000 followers and 1,000 subscribers. So they'll probably have the Series 4 out by the time that happens. But we're going to stick to the plan. So I think this is pretty neat. And I think someone out there would love to have something like this. I'm even thinking about getting one for myself once I get my PSVR 2. And, so that I can have a complete experience. Now, one thing that we're not giving away that new, what's it called? That new Facebook VR headset. I don't think that's really for gaming. I think that's for, for business owners or something like that. I think it was like $1,500. But nah, someone had asked, what did I think about it? So I was like, I didn't respond back, but I'm just like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't think I want to give, spend $1,500 on that. Okay. All right, let's get back to the chat. We got some time here. So hang out with me, guys. Hang out with me. Hang tight. Let me sure. Coming soon. Nothing is impossible, man. I don't think that's fair to me because they decide to purchase them. You're forgetting one thing, my friend. They were there to be purchased, and that Microsoft had that money and they took the check. Yeah. I 100% agree. They put themselves out there. Activision and Blizzard put themselves out there. Sony had the opportunity, but did Sony have the money? Did Sony go to the table and say, hey, here's an offer? Right? Did they make an offer? Microsoft jumped on it and said, hey, this is an opportunity to build our exclusive base, right? There you go. If a company don't want to be purchased, no matter what money give they want, but it seems APK was there for purchase and they did it, which was something they had to take. Because, come on, guys, come on. Microsoft is still playing catch up. You can't, that's fact. Prove me wrong. And I said it before. Sony has quality games. Microsoft has quality games, but Sony has more. I'm pretty sure, again, Microsoft is trying to fix the formula. They're trying to fix it, right? They're trying to find a way to fix it. And like I said earlier, gamers are probably going to get tired of playing Forza. Gamers are going to probably get tired of playing Halo. It's all going to end at some point, because if Sony continues to come out with brand new exclusive titles, what's Microsoft going to compete with? Come on. Hellblade 2 is not going to be able to carry Microsoft. I'm looking forward to that game. Man, I enjoyed Hellblade. Every bit of it. And the way Hellblade 2 looks, it's going to be amazing. But you can have an amazing looking game, but it all revolves around gameplay as well. But at the end of the day, is that it? So by them putting the money on the table to acquire Activision Blizzard, the opportunity was there. Now, if it goes through, they can make Call of Duty exclusive. Even though they said they was going to keep it on PlayStation, but I think for another 3 years or whatever, hey, they own the game, right? So here's Microsoft, if you're watching, because here's something else that I noticed, right? And I know you have your studios and they're working hard right now and they're working on games. Again, I'm not a fanboy. I love PlayStation. I love Microsoft. I grew up on both of them. There was times that I moved between both consoles. The 360 era was just amazing. I spent most of the time on the 360. When the PlayStation 2 came out, I was on the PlayStation 2. When the Xbox, the PS4 came out, I was on the PS4 rather than Xbox One because of the whole shenanigans that was around that. And, right now, I'm on both consoles. I'm right now, I'm on the Xbox One X. I played my Xbox One X more than the PS4, I believe. I think I did. I was always on the One X. And right now, I have the PS5 and the One X because I hooked my homeboy up with the Series X. And I hopefully he's enjoying the Series X. It's kind of heartbreaking when you have, gamers out there who are passionate about gaming, and they don't, and they're kind of, left behind when it comes to generations. So I hooked him up, and I hope he's enjoying the Xbox Series X, the Halo edition. I waited in line for that edition. I was out in the cold, waiting in line. I'm gonna have to fix that. Waiting in line in the cold. Thanks to my wife, she brought me a blanket. I think she brought me a blanket and a coat. I was freezing, and I was one of the first ones in lines to get that Halo edition, man. Because, dude, it was game on, and so I hope he's enjoying it. All right, so let's keep it going. What do you say? Mayweather versus Pacquiao. That's the way I see it. Mayweather versus Pacquiao. P says, yes, absolutely. Candy Crush is massive. Candy Crush is a big one, and nobody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about Halo. I'm sorry. Correction. Gamers are talking about Call of Duty. I don't think Call of Duty is that big enough for it to be getting the praise that it's getting. I don't think so. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion on that. So Xbox fans don't care about 420. Okay, 420 is in the boxing ring. Who wants to get in with him? 420 is in the he's hitting the bag right now. 420 is hitting the bag. So let's read it again. 420 says Xbox fans don't care about games. The ones that didn't jump ship. Okay. The remaining ones are happy with what they get in Game Pass. That's an interesting conversation. We can talk more about that. We could talk more about that. 420 is, hey, somebody need to spar with 420. I think he's ready to go. Let's get it. Why PlayStation has that market share? Because they bring the games, always have, but might not in the future if they just get bought out. If they just get bought out the game. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yes. You know what? You guys may have heard me say this before. Sony's gonna be okay. I don't. Microsoft have to do something so massive where Sony will struggle to compete in the gaming market. And let's say Capcom, right? Let's say Capcom says, you know what, we're done. Matter of fact, let's throw the three in there. Let's throw the three amigos in there. Warner Brother Games, right? Capcom, Square Enix, if Ubisoft. I don't know if anybody brought out Ubisoft yet. I don't even know if they for sale. From Software. Let's say if these publishers just start to, hey, here you go. And then Microsoft says, it's not going to happen. I know I'm being very ambitious with this one, but let's just put three of them out on the table, right? Capcom, Square Enix, and Warner Brother Games, right? Let's say if they come out. Sony's done, kind of. Sony's done. Because Xbox just says, here's the money, and those deals go through, just like the Activision Blizzard deal. If it does go through, Sony cannot really compete. Because if Microsoft says, we're going to make these exclusive. Now, the only way Sony would be able to compete because they still have their first party studios. I have to circle back here. They still have their first party studios, but there's a lot of third party games that are loved by gamers from those, from those publishers, those companies, right? It will blow my mind if Resident Evil becomes an exclusive to Xbox. Right? It will blow my mind if Street Fighter becomes exclusive to Xbox. Gamers will do it. It will be a gamer civil war out on social media. Social media will be blown up. I will have to lock my doors, probably turn off the computer. I'm done with social media. This is it. It's gonna be somebody. Hold on. Stay right there. Now, it's going to be somebody. It's going to be somebody that's going to be wearing this face mask, right? They're going to be wearing this face mask, hacking into computers or consoles to find out who's playing PlayStation, send out threats, shut down their PlayStation. And it's gonna be the same way with Xbox. There's gonna be somebody that's gonna be like, dun, dun. It's gonna be insane. What you guys think, man? What you guys think of that? Am I making some sense here? If I'm just carrying on, let me know. But that's just what I think about it. It's, man. And then Sony's gonna have to sell out. I'm like, we can't compete, man. We can't compete. Put Game Pass on PlayStation, and let's make some deals, right? All right, let's keep it moving. I like Ori. I haven't played Ori. It looks like a pretty. I think I have played a little bit of it. It looks like a pretty neat game. I just really haven't played it like that. To me, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. Again, I respect everyone's opinion. I think when you have a scope, right, on a project for a title that's your main title, your staple title for your console, which is Halo, and you have X amount of dollars within that project, and this is what you show up with, there's no way to justify it, right? And, there has been some people, some gamers, some diehard gamers that, that went to bat for Microsoft on it. And that's okay. That's okay, because to me, I like to position myself around logic, but at the same time, I respect everybody's position, even though sometimes their logic doesn't make any sense. But I have to respect where they're coming from, and I don't mind doing that because it's not something that I'm gonna get over, worked up about, because I want to keep the conversation going. I want to talk about this more. And maybe they will open up later, or maybe they'll say something that I didn't see earlier. But based on my observation with Halo, I didn't play it a lot. Halo Infinite. It's appalling to me the way they brought this game out, right? And of course, you're gonna have gamers nitpick. You're going to have gamers that say, hey, it needs to be some more time in the oven. Or you're going to have gamers that's just satisfied with what they see. And that's totally fine. You're going to pretty much get that with just about every game that comes out, And that's okay. That's okay. I don't get into the mix of the negativity. I don't really like negativity. It's not good for the spirit. And there's no point of it. If we cannot have a constructive conversation around it without respecting others' opinions on the matter, then I don't want to be involved in it. So that's the reason why I stay away from the negativity. But I do voice my opinion from time to time. And I do believe Halo could have been, they could have just, because I'm okay, because it's out of my control. I cannot force Microsoft or Sony to put out a video game. I can't. It's out of my control. I have to wait, right? But the voice of the people can be very, very powerful. You know, they can come out. You know, social media. You have social media. You have the media. And within that scope, you have a time frame to get that game out, right? So to meet that time frame. And if you don't get it out, then then we have a problem, right? What do? We delay the game. Make sure it's good to go. Because sometimes the scope changes within a project. You know, you may not have enough funding, or you need to put it back in the oven and do some more. I'm okay with that. That's just me. But I think Halo was not a disaster, but the way they put it out is like, come on, that's your main staple game, dude. You can't do that. Their management is very bad. Now, I don't know. I'm not at the round table. I'm not listening to the discussions, but I do feel that maybe the decision making is not up to par. Okay? It's just an assumption. Okay? Whenever you make an assumption, you always test your assumption to get some validation around it, right? So I'm just thinking, you know, Phil Spencer, Microsoft, if you're watching, there's got to be somebody at the round table that's bringing the arguments. They have to be saying, hey, you know, we need to do something here, or we need to make some moves here, or this is where we need to focus, or this is where we're having problems, right? We're having some big issues here and we need to get some things fixed. This is not working. And just like, you know, part of the discussion in the podcast we just recently had, you know, PE brought up some good points. When when you're entering into different markets, you have to do your research, right? Especially culturally, you have to do your research. So Microsoft entering into the Asian market with the Xbox, even though they did a lot better than with the last console, still it's not working, right? You have to do your research. You have to understand that culture. The Asian market is Nintendo, right? Nintendo, I mean, I just recently went to Japan. These people are always on the go. Japanese people are always on the go, period. They communicate like ants. They are on the go. They are everywhere. Okay, if you ever been to Japan, you know what I'm talking about. If you ever been to Osaka, you ever been to Tokyo, you know what I'm talking about. If you ever been to even the airports, you know what I'm talking about. Japanese people are on the go. The train stations, people are on the go. Ain't nobody sitting home really playing no Xbox. Not really even the PlayStation. But that's where PlayStation and Nintendo is most welcome at. That's their home. But when you take the Xbox within that culture, you have to look at the best practices from the previous console and say, okay, what did not work, what worked, and what did not work? Because if we're gonna move here again with the Series X and the S, I'm pretty sure Microsoft has done that, right? And you guys have seen the results of that. They didn't really sell much. So there's something else missing. So you have to come back to the table and say, hey, we need to get this. I want that piece of the pie. I want a piece of that pie, right? Oh man, I'm so happy you guys are still here, man. Thank you. We're gonna keep this going. As long as you guys are here, I appreciate you showing the love. If you're new, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. If you like what we're doing here. And yeah, definitely what you see up on the screen there. Once we hit 1,000 followers, once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I know we can do it. I know you guys can, share the stream, share some love, get some people in, man, so that we can keep this whole giveaway thing going. Because I really do want to keep this whole giveaway thing going. And I always, I love giving back to the community. And that's because, not to, flaunt myself around or anything. It's just that in these times, man, these are some crazy times, some strange times. And we just want a game, right? And to put a smile on somebody's face, just we love what we do and we want to continue it. All right, so 420. No. Let's go back. I think we scrolled down too far. Ori is a cute game for sure. I may jump back on it, but not made by them. Yes, sure, made by Moon Studio. PE says they were with them a second party studio until they jumped ship on Xbox. Moon Studio? Did they go to Microsoft? I find myself defending Microsoft on this one. CMA used Sony's sentiment to now, PE, I'm gonna have to call you out on this one. Okay? I read, and I think we discussed this too in the podcast. I did read what the CMA said. But how do we know? How do we know Sony gave the CMA talking points? Now, somebody mentioned that out on social media, then it just took off. But how do we know Jim Ryan, Sony, said, hey, here's what you're going to say? Now, I can understand where you're coming from, right? But you got to prove that. Now, did we not talk about, what the CMA should be doing? Yes, we did. But it's kind of, iffy. What they stated. And it's just, I refuse to believe, unless it's true, because sometimes I will throw that out there. If it's true, then that's not cool. That's not cool. The CMA should not be operating that way. Period. They should be operating by their book. And they should be letting both Microsoft and Sony know, yay or nay. Or maybe I didn't do enough research. Definitely Sony has never said they are trying to take down or take out Microsoft, but Microsoft has repeatedly said that they want to compete. They want to run the game on the game. They were new to the game, so they had 250 plus studios working the PlayStation in 1994. 420 says Xbox only time they ever even had me slightly interested is in the 360 days. 420, man, you are the man, dude. When they were bringing it. Since then, I have no interest because they stopped trying. They screwed up with the Xbox One, man. When they this whole DRM stuff, dude, and I'm telling you, it's still going on. It's still going on. They just slipped it they just came in through the back door. PlayStation has done the same thing. I don't understand why a lot of people are not picking up on that. There's some games that you have to be online for. I mean, call me out if I'm wrong. There are games that requires you to be online, period. So they still have it going. They're just not vocalizing it. So when they vocalized it, it ruined the whole thing with Xbox One. Then they did what? Did they do it? No, they didn't do a 360. They did a 180. But they said what they needed to say. But did they take it away? Maybe we can have a discussion around that. Just to provide some proof for that. But there are some games that you have to be online to play on both sides. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know. Now they are doing better with the surge of buying bigger publishers that have the needed talent to bring out the best games to the customers. For 20, but that's just me and whoever have jumped off the Xbox bandwagon. They were neck and neck, but after they stopped trying, PlayStation took more market share, so 2 times as much or more. Okay, they did. I can agree with that. The facts are out there. I do understand, but don't you think Microsoft had only 4 studios and the rest of their titles were all exclusive, which carried them through the generations, and after that, nothing? Yes, Halo was their biggest title, is their biggest title, first party. And then Forza looked amazing. Forza looked amazing. Gears is a good game. And I just don't think they have enough exclusives. They need to come out with some exclusives. So what other way are they going to do it besides purchase? Do you not have confidence in your studios to come up with some creativity and create some exclusives? I don't know. So you just got to buy up. And this is one thing that I was going to mention. Microsoft, if you're watching, I know you're not watching, but if you're watching, don't put your studios up on the shelf. Because if you're going to buy up studios, you have to show up. Give the studio. If you're spending all this money on these studios, then you should be able to provide the resources to these studios to make new IPs. Am I not right? If you're going to spend billions of dollars and you're only depending on the games that's already made and you need new IPs, exclusives to compete, give them the resources. Come up with new IPs. It'll help you out. Don't put the studios up on the shelf and just leave them there. I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but there are some studios that we really haven't heard from lately. So I'm like, what are they doing? What are they making? If they're making anything. Doing the 360 days was lovely. It was beautiful. Now that's when I played Call of Duty a lot. I played Call of Duty a lot on the 360. It was fun. But they have the money to make their own stuff. See, did we not just say something? Hey, right? Just say that. If you have the money to buy these studios, make some new IPs, man. Come on now. You have the opportunity. Buying up studios, to me, I don't think is really going to cut it unless these studios have top-notch games that you can make exclusive to the console that gamers love to play. Period. And again, my opinion, Call of Duty, I don't see it. But they have the money to make their own stuff. Why buy games other people enjoy instead of building your own house? They bought an apartment building. And yes. Woo! Woo! Oh my goodness, 420, you had me put on the mask there. Let me put that down. I don't want nobody tapping into my my computer here. You know what, 420? I mean, both you and PE has some good points there. Devon, what's up, man? What's up? If you're watching the stream, what's up, bro? What's going on? But 420, I like the way you put it there. He's going off, man. He's throwing some jabs. PE, I don't. Oh, so this is the boxing ring here. PE versus 420. I know you guys are boys. I'm not putting you guys against each other, but this is good. I likes the dialogue in the chat. I definitely have to get you both on the podcast. We got to get on the podcast, man. Yes, that's what Microsoft has been doing all this decades, and what Sony has been doing too. People don't realize how building new studios takes time when you want the ball rolling. But you have to look at it this way though. How long has Microsoft been in the game? How long have they been in the game? They've been in the market. When did the original OG Xbox come out? I don't remember off the top of my head. But Microsoft has been in the gaming market for quite a bit of time. They have what they need to innovate, right? They have what they need to innovate. Yes, I understand that it takes time, but goodness gracious, if you're betting on just several exclusives, and then your competitor comes out with new exclusives on top of the list of exclusives that they have, come on. We don't know what Wolverine is going to look like, right? So we have to take a step back, and see what Insomniac brings to the table with Wolverine. You saw the reaction on Wolverine, right? Come on. And what Sony is doing right now is genius. You want to know why it's genius? Because they're innovating. They're saying, hey, where can we improve or innovate or make new? Because they know that it's only going to be a certain amount of time with certain exclusives that they have are going to run its course, right? It's going to run its course eventually. Microsoft, you've been in the game for a minute. Come on now. You have here. I'm gonna come out and say this. And I'm probably gonna get some backlash on this. Xbox fanboys, die-hard fanboys. Come on. Let's be real with yourselves. You gotta be real with yourselves. You may say you don't know what you're talking about. The hell with you. I mean, excuse my language. Who are you? Blah, 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 blah. And that's fine. But you can't sit here and tell me with a straight face and say, yes, we can hold out. We can continue to be in this market space with just several exclusives. Okay? You can't, how do you continue the argument when you have your competitor continue to come out with new IPs? Right? And then your argument is, well, we got Halo. Wait till Forza 6 drop. I love those games. Trust me. I played those games. I love those games. Those games will forever be, in my heart. They're in my catalog. But there's somewhere in your hearts, you are saying to yourself, Microsoft, come on. We have to come back at these Sony fanboys. And sometimes when I read the comments on social media, and sometimes I do. I don't do it a lot. And again, I try to stay away from it. And I'm like, dude, you is this your argument? Is this your argument? Now, I would love to have the Xbox fanboys on, the PlayStation fanboys on, to have these types of discussions, but at the same time, use the platform, to be respectful. But it just, some things just don't make sense, from a business perspective. If you're just going to buy up a bunch of studios and claim them as whatever games they have as exclusives, that's not innovating. You're just buying studios and games that have games already made. That's not innovating, dude. You gotta step up your game. Microsoft saw how Sony was far ahead during the OG Xbox, so they went out to companies and studios to buy, but that Sony had already taken the hold of the household studio who have reached an agreement with them. Again, if you understand how contracts work between companies, there's no real argument there. Right? There's no real argument. So people can argue all day until the cows come home. If you are at the table and you have your people at the table, if we come to if I was Sony and you were Microsoft, and you know what? Let's not even do that. If we're just two companies, right? You have something that I want. Or maybe I have something that you want. That's going to probably benefit the both of us, right? So I say, hey, I strike a deal with you. Okay. Write up the contract. Okay. I get my people. We'll write up the contract. We'll meet back here tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same place. You sit on that side, I'm sitting on this side. My people over here, your people over there. Right? It's just like in the sport of boxing, right? I'm making a contract with you. No one is putting a gun to your head to make you sign a contract. No one. Right? Here's the contract. Okay, I'm going to take this contract and I'm going to have my people read over it. I'm going to have my lawyers, et cetera, they're going to read over it. Great. All right. Then we'll meet back here next week. Same bat cave, same bat time. Great. Fine. Come back. All right. My people read over it. And We're going to negotiate. This is where the negotiation process comes in. You guys know this stuff. You have to. This is 101 stuff, right? We want this, and this, and we'll give you this. Okay, I'm going to take that contract back, have my people read over it, and we're going to discuss. And we'll meet back here tomorrow. Same bat cave, same bat time. Perfect. If you can have your people read over that quick, great. Have my people read over it. Yeah, we can give them this. We can give them that. But let's mark this down just a little bit, right? Blah, 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 blah. You see where I'm going with this? Hopefully you do. Come back to the table. Bam. Here's a contract. You look at it. The negotiation process can go as long as you want, right? Because nobody's signing nothing until you actually feel that it's the right thing to do at that given time, especially for your business, right? And you're getting a good deal out of it. So if that contract at that point in time, you agree to it, you have your people, I have my people, I sign, you sign. Done deal. So this whole talk about Sony keeping stuff off Xbox and Xbox keeping stuff off PlayStation or whatever the case may be. You sign a contract. If you sign a contract and that's the deal, then that's the meat and potatoes of that contract. You have to abide by that contract. You have no argument. Period. People can say whatever they want, but if it's in a contract and you both sign it, then the contract is what you have to live by. Period. So if Sony says, okay, well, I want to know how much you selling it to Xbox, and you need to report back to me and tell me how much you sold, and it was in the contract and that publisher or studio signed it, it's in the contract. Where's your argument? Now, some people are going to listen to that and say, you don't make any sense. I'm like, okay, that's totally fine. And the reason why I say that's totally fine, because, you know, I've dealt with contracts. I still do deal with contracts a little bit. And, you know, I had to learn it in business school. I had to learn how contracts work in business school. I had to learn the art of negotiation in business school. Again, you don't need a degree to understand business. It's simple. We make contracts every day. I'm pretty sure you do. Let's keep it going. They bought Bungie. Lionhead, Rare, Build, Turn 10, and that was it. Okay. 420 says, I've been waiting for Microsoft to bring it. I've been waiting too. Because no love lost. There's no love lost for Microsoft from my end. I'm just waiting for them to show up. Bring it, man. Give me a reason to play Xbox, right? I have to have a reason. A really, really good reason. But the way they are trying to do it, as a multi-platform gamer, I just can't get behind it. I'd rather than bring competition from in-house instead of buying it. Oh, respect. Sony had more studios in agreement with the studio who wants their games to be published by Sony, because Sony was the big master in the pool. Yeah, I can see what you're saying there, PE. Yeah, absolutely. You know, because they've been in the market for quite some time. They've been there before Sony. Oh man, I am far behind. Xbox made Bethesda and Call of Duty. If we be honest with ourselves. Bethesda I can see, but Call of Duty, I have to see what the numbers are. I have to see what the numbers are as far as. Well, yeah. You're right. In a way, give me a reason to buy an Xbox. Not make it so the only way to play a game I've been playing for years is to get their system or subscription. But that's just me. I don't try to speak for others. Good point. PC made Bethesda who they are before Xbox was a thing. Yeah. I was just thinking about that too. I was just thinking about PC. I understand, but it's how they see it to be the best option, concerning what is happening behind the scenes, which wasn't favoring Xbox. I'm sure approved their approach. No, Bethesda was shutting down until Xbox asked to build a game for them with the support of Xbox. What game? Yeah, what game? Oh, well, he answered it. Morrowind. It was an exclusive to Xbox. You mean Horse Army? Okay. I'm gonna turn this car around. Nobody's getting ice cream. Nobody's getting any ice cream. Okay. He said you'd be a Horse Army game. Not on PS2. That's where microtransactions started. I never played Morrowind, so I don't know. Elder Scroll Morrowind. Yes, yeah, I know. I remember the name now, and it's Don Matrix who said that. They made the same statement as Jim made when the Brazilian regulators asked him, and people referenced it there. I would find the page and send it to you. Oh, thank you. I love PE, even though we have a difference in the pay. Of course, man. Of course. And that's what I'm talking about. You know, we respect one another. We have our opinions, around games. And it's not always going to be the same, right? We're always going to have differences of opinions when it comes to games. And we're also going to have differences of opinion when it comes to, what Xbox has to offer and what Sony has to offer with PlayStation. So it's part of the whole ordeal. And sometimes it can just get toxic. And do you involve yourself in that toxicity environment? Or do you not, to be or not to be, right? I still have to watch this Game of Thrones episode tonight. But that's what I'm talking about. If we can have a constructive conversation around, video games and what's been going on and knowing the expectations of having differences of opinions, everybody's fine and respect that. Respect those grounds, and let that be the foundation, right? I respect your opinions on all of this, and it's a beautiful thing, though. When you can have these types of conversations. Yep, family, and I love you too, brother. Of course, man. Of course, always, yes. That's my point about their management or leadership. They nearly shut down until Satya saved them with his full support. If not, we won't be seeing Xbox anymore. Only because 420 says only because they never made any money with Xbox. They never recouped their investment while they had dwindling games output till Satya gave them blank checks to try to strong arm. 420 also says, just like now, Game Pass doesn't bring in enough to develop games on a scale they want. Now they have all these new people to pay and sustain. Now we're talking. And, this is was going to be one of the topics in our next podcast. So and I'm glad you brought up that point, 420, because, I had my thoughts around the posting when it was talking about, is Game Pass profitable? right? And it was something that was ping ponging back in my mind for quite some time now, before that statement even came out, because I've been, you know, I'm very observant, when it comes to this stuff. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, day and date, right? What is the conversation like? I would love to be there at the round table and to listen to the conversation, to um, see the negotiations that goes on, the contract signings, et cetera, et cetera. Because you're putting games into a subscription service day and date. Yes, that is insane value. That's ingenious, right? So that's one way how you sustain Game Pass, right? A subscription service. It's insane. You think gamers are going to complain about that? Not 1 second. They're gonna uplift that. They're gonna be like, that's the best thing since pound cake. But at the end of the day, you have to start thinking about, okay, is it profitable though? Because how much are you paying these studios or developers, whoever, to have your game in Game Pass day and date? I'm ignorant to that, right? I'm pretty sure we're all ignorant to that. We don't know what that looks like. I would like to see that. So as of right now, what we can only do is sit back and wait until Microsoft puts out numbers, right? Until they put out numbers and say, hey, this is what Game Pass has done. We are profitable. So I'm thinking output and input, right? So how much are you giving out to have this game within Game Pass day and date, right? And how much is coming in, right? Because if you look at your subscriber base, right? How big is your subscriber base big enough to how can I put this? To recoup what you give out and to bring in extra, right? Because I think you have 3 subscriptions services with Game Pass. You have the dollar, then you have, I think, just Game Pass, and then you have Game Pass Ultimate. I don't remember. Let me know in the chat. But that's interesting. Is Game Pass is Game Pass profitable, or has it been profitable? So again, we just have to wait and see what Microsoft has to show and say, hey, here it is, right? Game Pass is working. How long will you be able to sustain day and date? If it's not working, and another question is how much profit? Revenue and profit are two different, two different. They're different, right? Good. That's good thought there. Let's go down here. And let me know if I'm making any sense here. If I'm not making any sense, man, jump in the boxing ring, man. Jump in the boxing ring with me and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, so that we can have the discussion. Let me know. Just like now, Game Pass doesn't bring enough to do. Okay, I think we touched on that. Xbox were shutting down studio because of money issue, and not that they had the money. Remember, Insomniac went to Xbox for Sunset Overdrive, and Xbox had the opportunity to buy Insomniac. But also you have to look at it this way too. Well, you don't have to, but I look at it this way. Just because you come to the table with the most money, but let's say if Microsoft did come to the table and make a deal with Insomniac. I'm not saying this happened. And I come to the table with a deal, but my amount is lower than Microsoft. But here's the extra caveat that goes with that deal. So that lower amount and that extra caveat could be more appealing than your rivals, right? So you can have something in your contract that stands out, and it's something that says, you know what? Sony's been in the market longer, right? They know how to market their games. They know the game in and out. So will we have a better chance seeing revenue and profit with Microsoft or Sony? Right? They do have a huge exclusive base. We have the talent, we have the creativity, we can come up with new, and also it's also about who the company is associated with too, right? And you know, now you have to say, okay, Marvel. Come on now, let's think about that. You have to look at it. You don't just go with who has the biggest check on the table, right? You don't just jump out the window. You have to go out the door. Don't jump out the window and then not be able to survive to spend that money, right? Go out the door. Read both contracts. Have your people read over it and say, hey, even though you offer me more money, but this contract here is more appealing to me and I think it will benefit me more. That's just the general snapshot. You know, I'm not saying that's exactly what happened, but that's just a general snapshot of, you know, how you can negotiate. The art of negotiation, man, I'm telling you, it works. Don't jump out the window. Go out the door. But the money wasn't there. Insomniac wanted to stay independent at the time, and Microsoft didn't greenlight Sunset Overdrive 2. Microsoft also had first dibs at Spider-Man this gen, stated by Marvel, but see how that went? I mean, you get it. You have to, yeah, you have to be honest with you. If that's, and they did come out and say that, right? When you have the opportunity, now PE, you mentioned this before, when you have those opportunities, you take advantage of those opportunities. You remember the conversation we had? If you have the opportunity, you have to take that opportunity. There's risk involved, right? Like you said, there's risk involved. Yes, take the opportunity. So, when you have the opportunity to purchase something big as Spider-Man, take it. But who's to know how they would have done with Spider-Man, right? Who's to know? It could have just been a disaster, right? But you as a company, especially in the video game market, you have to make it work for you, player. You have to make it work, especially a character huge as Spider-Man. You can't come out with this BS. And Insomniac they've been on it, man. And I don't think they're leaving Sony for man, I don't think they'll ever leave Sony for Microsoft. Unless Microsoft comes out with something that's amazing. If they come to the table with something amazing and say, hey, woo, I don't see it happening. 420 says they just put out an earnings statement of revenue and profit. Did they? Oh, I need to go see it. I need to go see it. And you're referring to Microsoft, right? I need to go see it. Insomniac wanted to own the IP of Sunset Overdrive. Why they went and made a game for Xbox. But now Sony owns that IP, and Insomniac calls they felt more comfortable creating for PlayStation. They were ignored by Sony with the engine they wanted to do for Sunset Overdrive 2 and Spider-Man, and it was Xbox who invested on it until Microsoft decided we ain't ready for another failure with this game. Um, P, I like how you enjoy your rebuttal. Dude, hey, we're all three in the boxing ring right now, man. We are in the boxing ring right now. So, um, I'm gonna pick, man, I'm gonna go. You know, I always been a big fan of De La Hoya. So I'm gonna pick De La Hoya. I know he lost to Mayweather, but De La Hoya, you know, in his prime, I'm gonna pick De La Hoya. So you guys could be Mayweather and Pacquiao. I don't care, or whoever you pick. That's cool. So we're all three in the boxing rings, and this is good. This is good. For 20 said I had to take a drink. Oh, you talking about me? Man, man, oh man. He says, all in fun, my friend, all love. It's all love, man. All love. Oh, tight. Dude, that's not fair, man. I did say you pick whoever you want, right? My man picked Tyson. Jeez. I'm just gonna run around the ring then. I'm not gonna fight you. I'm just gonna stay out of it. I'm gonna let you you and P just have some fun. Like, sure, to get knocked out by Tyson? Oh, that ain't gonna be pretty. I'm already visualizing Dreamland right now. I'm like, oh my goodness. Just imagine if I get knocked out by Tyson right now. What that all gonna look like? Who am I gonna meet? Am I gonna just see the light? Oh, De La Hoya, those like Quarry, in his prime seconds. Man, Tyson in his prime, dude, dude. I have no words. I have no words coming into that fight. I'd be like, Martin Lawrence, give me a minute. Timeout. Oh man, don't even know if I could do it. His in his prime seconds. Oh my goodness, dude. That's like the first punch, man. That's like the first punch that you throw. It's like, dude, I'm going. Like, ah. I'm gonna. You know what? I would act like you hit me and just fall to the mat. And I'm like, oh man, he just got knocked out by Tyson, man. He didn't even touch him. And I'll be giving an interview, and I gotta be like, uh, I'm glad I'm awake to be able to say this, but I gotta say, Tyson, my man, that's one hell of a punch, man. You did. I mean, he didn't have to hit me. Did you guys see that? Man, I was in dreamland so far. So long. See, I can't even talk. I met Mario. We was jumping on mushrooms. Man, Tyson, man. I don't ever want to do this again. That's how I be, man. I be on some crazy stuff, man. I remember, dude. Do you remember that 420? Yes, I think we watched every Tyson, um, match. Well, not, well, the ones that I knew. I mean that I understood. I mean, and I knew there was Tyson matches before, um, but the one that was more up to date. I think um, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember the first one that we watched. Um, I mean, we used to sometimes sit and watch because I had family members, uncles, and they used to watch Tyson fight, man, and we used to sit there and be like, oh, okay. Um, but then when we got older and we understood the whole boxing thing, then you like, dude, Mike Tyson, man, Mike Tyson is knocking people clean out. Or we can go old school, Rocky Marciano, um, um, Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, um, who else? Joe Frazier. Um, who was the gang leader that Tyson fought? Um, Man, I forgot his name. Then you had Spinks. You had I mean, if you want to come up to date, you had Holyfield. Um, what's my man name? What's my man? Oh my goodness, what's my man name? Oh jeez, I forgot his name. Lewis. Is it man? Is it Lewis? You had some good boxers back in the day, man. There was a lot of good boxers. Um, really good boxers. So it seems like we had beat this um thing. We called it should have been a podcast. It should have been a podcast. And again, uh, if you guys would like to be a part of the podcast, if you're watching, um, we did start the State of Gaming series. Um, so please check out the podcast, our first podcast, where we talked about, the state of gaming, where it is. And we're going to continue to talk about it because there's so much to talk about right now. It's just so much to talk about. And we would like to, have you guys a part of that discussion. If you would like to be a part of that discussion, we will definitely have the link in the chat. You just, send us a request that you would like to voice your opinion. Again, you don't have to show yourself on camera. Or if you want to show yourself on camera, we can make that happen. And, just to give your thoughts, give the gamers in the chat to be a part of the conversation. It's only right we do that, right? And, as we're trying to make a name for ourselves, we're allowing the platform to be available to you. It's been a long time coming anyway. And we should have a podcast coming up soon for part 2 of the state of gaming as the news come out, right? And I did decide in some of the podcasts we're gonna do a giveaway, and but we'll let you know beforehand if we are doing a giveaway in that podcast, and it should be interesting because I would love to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions around what's going on. And it should be very, very interesting, just like tonight. Have any one of you heard of Ike Quarte, A. Nelson, and DK before? I have not heard of those boxers before. I think A. Nelson, but not the other guys. Yeah, I haven't heard of those boxers. So those were amazing boxers who fought with passion and skill. I'm ugly, but my mother thought I was handsome. Laugh out loud too. Okay, okay. Let me get myself together here. Man, for Twitter, you something else, man. um, Ike versus De La Hoya. Watch their highlight. I'll check it out. I'll check it out. Um, so is there anything else, guys, that you would like to talk about, or we're gonna wrap this thing up? And if you're watching, you're new, please hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and all. Um, please, please, please. We are a new and upcoming channel, and we're trying to get ourselves known out there in the wild. And we can only do this, with your help. And I appreciate the love that you guys have shown so far and hanging out with your boy. And we are going to, again, wrap this thing up. Let's wrap it up. And it was a very interesting conversation. I respect both you guys and your opinions on, gaming, Microsoft, Sony. It's a beautiful thing, right? As long as we keep it, on respectable grounds, everybody comes out a winner, and we stay on top. It's always great to have good people, talk with good people. All people are good. You just gotta, keep that vibe. And I love you guys. I appreciate your time. And as always, man, as always, stay gaming. And no matter what console, if you're a fanboy or not, I still love you. We still, no homo. We good though. We good. And we just gonna keep it going. All right. Peace, love, happiness. I second that 420. And game on. Y'all take care of yourselves. Hold on. We're out. Game on.